Yeah.
Loud and clear.
All right, guys. Can everybody hear me now? Sorry about that, guys. We had a little bit of an echo there. Yeah, my bad, my bad. Okay, let's get back into it, guys. No idea. Something for some reason Discord started echoing everything we said back to you. You guys are good now, though. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, bro.
Okay, perfect. Can they hear me? I wonder. Okay, perfect. All right, awesome, guys. Sorry about that. Yes, so we're going back to Jiraiya.
Yeah,
now.
much, and they can hear you.
All right, cool. Thank you. Let's go back to Jiraiya real quick, guys. We're going to jump back into this real fast. Apologize again. All right, so let's go back to right here. All right, so Jiraiya, we said SS. Let's go to the next character. Let's talk about B for Abyss. Personally, for me, Blue, I think he's an A+. He does bring stuns, but he just doesn't bring anything else stats-wise. And we just realized that his attack up is pretty minuscule in it, and he's really squishy. So I put him as an A+. He's always on my backup team.
Yeah, pretty much A+ is what he really is because of the stun.
Yeah, and honestly, if he didn't have that stun, he'd be lower probably as a UR. So
he would be like unusable, to be honest.
Okay, let's talk about. We're gonna talk about Chiyo next, guys. Now, this is a controversial one. She has now improved a lot, and I probably want to do a showcase on her, a proper one this time. But now that her heal is scaling off of her HP, I've seen her heal for like 200k almost per character, or to the lowest health character, even if a person's not on rotation. So I think in Abyss, because of the amount of damage you take and the amount of characters, I'm gonna put her up in S now. Personally, but I don't know how you feel about that. Now, she won't be here, of course. She'll move down the list. But I do think she deserves an S rank because of her heal and the fact that she can do now guard rate and damage reduction rate based on where she is in the cell. So I don't know how you feel about that, but that's just my take on her. Now the only problem with Abyss, of course, is it's random, so you don't have control of where she lands. So her heal isn't going to kick in. So that could bring her down to A+, but I'll let you decide on that one.
Yeah, it's very situational, but if everything goes right, her heals are amazing. And it's good with like a sustained team.
Yeah. Plus, her other two buffs aren't the worst either. So, like, what do you think? S or A+ for her? Just because of the situational aspect.
Let's just say high A+ for now.
I agree.
It's situational.
Yeah.
Before B, actually.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. Okay. So we'll say before B. So like here.
Yeah.
Okay.
A+.
There we go. Okay. So we'll put her first. All right. CM2. Brand new Sasuke, the newest one to the Sasuke tribe. Personally, I think SS, because most of the time people are going to be faster than everybody in Abyss, the NPC, so you will get bonus of all of his attributes. You are most likely going to have a healer, and he hits like a truck, and he has the highest single-handed stun in the game because of his status effect built into his jutsu. So I put him SS personally for Abyss.
Yeah, it would be SS, but the only reason why I'd put him in S is because of his health. It's not really that great.
Really? Okay. I actually don't have a problem with him with that for health. He's actually not squishy at all for me. But mine's a 6-star though. So what are we comparing? We're comparing 5 stars, right, for URs?
That 5 star is like the more reasonable.
Right. Okay, then we'll go S for sure. Would you put him before or after Kamui?
I'll go before him because his buffs are guaranteed as long as you're faster.
Right.
Which most people should be.
Okay. Perfect. How are the comments doing? Everybody, are we doing okay here? Okay, perfect. So let's keep that going.
Yeah, I'm watching them. Don't worry.
Perfect. All right, so we got Kovadmaru next. Now, this man was very, very controversial when he came out. A lot of people didn't like his kit. I've not used him in Abyss yet. He hasn't had a need for it. Although his buffs are phenomenal, or debuffs are phenomenal, he just doesn't have a place in my team. So I'm going to give him an A+ for now, just because of the fact that stun team still rules in Abyss, but I can see characters who need to take less damage, put him in S. So I think A+, high A+ for me. Blue, I don't know how you feel about him.
I would say right now, on what we have, He's after Chio.
After Shio, yeah, I agree. I agree right in here.
Yeah.
Yep, okay, that's fair. That's fair. Okay. What used to be the highest nuke in the game, now probably unusable by a lot of people. I still use him, though, as my second team, and an FG, Itachi. So, probably the guy who took most people's Shino coins as well, too. Personally, for Abyss, I put him in A+. He just doesn't bring any utility, and honestly, in Abyss, for anyone to take advantage of his buffs, they have to kill the opponent. And if you're killing the opponents, chances are you're not using him in the team. You're probably using stronger characters. So for me, he's probably below B because he doesn't bring stun, but he still hits hard enough on T units. So I say A+ after B, but I'll let you chime in on that one.
Yeah, I would agree on that. And the fact that he has the Akatsuki tribe just makes him more viable.
That's true. That's true. But I don't think we're considering tribes in our ratings, are we?
I'm sure most people use Itachi for his tribe.
That's true. So put him before B, you think, or after B? Right.
Maybe before, because more people would use him instead of B.
That's true. That's true. You know what? Honestly, after all this conversation, I might put B and A at this point. I don't know if I don't think he even belongs in this category right now. All right, we'll leave him now. We'll keep going. Let's see where we get with him. All right, let's go to Hedon. How are we thinking about him now? I personally don't use Hedon. I mean, the thing is, he does buff A's, which is fantastic. A lot of people do like to use A's, but then there are a lot of people who are now using T's and D's a lot more often. So because of that limitation, I would put him in either low S because he has a nuking tank, and he does bring enough buffs, but also maybe high A depending on the people's composition. I just don't like characters that have limitations like that. So for me, like personally, I would probably put him either low end of S or top end of A+.
Yeah, personally, I would put him in low S right now.
Low S? Okay. So we'll put him in there. We'll move him along accordingly. Okay. Next one up. Who else does we have here as a UR? Naruto UR. OG Naruto UR. The free to play. Honestly, he's becoming a dying breed. I use him as a backup now for a lot of my teams as a good nuke, but because a lot of us don't have the weapon fragments for him and they still haven't delivered it, he's still hitting hard enough where I can put him as low S, but he's also starting to fall off, so I could also consider him A+ top end.
Yeah, honestly, everyone's UR Naruto is different, so everyone has their own opinions on it. But if we're just looking at him as his kit, he would be like low A+.
Yeah, agreed. So I'm going to put him here beside B for now, just because he doesn't bring a stun. He does hit harder, I will say, but he doesn't bring utility for Abyss, and that's what you need for Abyss. It's not the same as FG. So we'll put him there for now. We'll reorganize it all if we see a disagreement somewhere. All right, so the next UR we have here is going to be unusable Corinne. Bro, at this point, I don't even care about it. I just want to put her in D personally because I hate her that much, but she was like the best support when she came out because we had so little support, but since every other new support's come out, she's become pretty much an unusable character for me. So I don't know how you feel. I'm okay with putting her in like B just because her heals are not bad, but because they scale off attack, I'm even willing to put her in a C category. Only because Abyss does need healers, but I'm okay with C personally for her. I don't know how you feel about her.
Yeah, she's either C or D, whatever we're using as the lowest.
Yeah, okay, let's do that. So let's cover next. We'll cover Payne. All right, so just so everyone's aware, Payne is actually, so shout out to Dash, who found out they fixed the Payne Jutsu now. So if somebody kills an opponent, I think you get DIR up. If he kills an opponent specifically, they get DRR up. So it looks like they fixed the buffs, but he does fall into the same category as Kamui Kakashi. I don't think his buffs are quite as strong personally because they're a mixed bag of defense and offense, while Kakashi's all offense. But he is still a very, very good character. So I personally was put him as an S because he hits really hard, and he can take a little bit of damage himself. So I put him S probably before Hedon, but right beside Kakashi. I don't know how you feel about that, Blue. You think that's the right place for him?
Yeah, I think so too. He's very good.
He's very good.
He deserves the S.
Absolutely. And not only that, but he also activates everyone else's tribes, right? Like you kind of need him or Conan to really take advantage of those tribes.
And then for anyone saying he's SS, is probably because they have him built up and then he carries them. He doesn't give as much as the SS characters.
Yeah, I wouldn't say SS. I would not say that. He definitely deserves S for sure. High end S, I will give him that, but not SS. But speaking of SS, we're gonna make what a unanimous one. Sagemo Jiraiya. I think this guy just deserves SS in almost every category. He makes teams unstoppable. Let me tell you a little funny story here. Yesterday or 2 days ago, I fought somebody who was 400k lower power than me in NWT. I lost one match, and it was single-handedly lost to his Jiraiya. And I had way more powerful characters. I've never lost a match to somebody that much slower than me. So the guy was way slower. So that alone to me says a lot about what this character brings to the table. So to me, easily high SS. I would probably say between Kieran, maybe even before Kieran at this point, but right beside the two OGs. I don't know, Blue. What do you think?
I'll put him right before Gaara.
Right before Gaara? So Kieran
Yep.
first? Okay. And is there a reason why you chose Kieran over him? Is it because he's a D unit and not a T unit because he hits a little less?
Kieran just... I don't know, you can use Kieran in anything, that's why.
That's true, yeah, because he does hit harder. He's a nuke versus a defensive buff. But he does have burn, which is actually now starting to make a little bit of headway. But yeah, I agree. Okay, so we'll put him fourth. Definitely deserves it there.
Anybody who's disagreeing that SMJ is a SS, I don't know. I'm pretty sure SMJ is because why people beat Abyss so much, you know?
Yeah, agreed. And again, he's now helping it. But I do agree. In FG, he's not going to be usable. Like, because you need to have as much damage as possible. He doesn't do as much damage as Karen does. Okay, perfect. Let's jump into Naruto Kage next. Honestly, I use him. I'd say he's low tier S because of the amount of damage rate reduction he has. He does heal himself too, and he does quite a bit of damage to A units because he does percentage up to A units. So, but he is starting to fall off quite a bit because of all the extra units that are out that are tanky now as well. So I put him low S personally. I could even settle now for A plus, a high A plus, but I think low S is suiting for him.
I think he's probably before Chio. I mean, I could see why you'd think he's S, but the buffs he gives are just outdated by the buffs now because we get like damage reduction rate and all that, but he's still on that like defense, like the old school.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's starting to fall off a bit. The only thing I like about him, honestly, though, is the fact that he's one of the only characters that heal on hit, and the fact that he hits A units so much harder. Like he hits, I think it's like 40% extra damage to A units or something. All right, so I'm gonna leave him. Okay, I'll put him here for now. We'll go back to him. I actually want to discuss him a little more, but we'll get back to that after. In Abyss, especially in Abyss. In FG, I totally agree with you, though. He probably is an A+. All right, Trash Can. I mean, Papa Sasuke. Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, so I will say this. He has come in handy specifically for healer teams. Because he lets off his jutsu, and I think, if I remember correctly, he has 100% heavy wound, right? And with a team that actually ends up where you're actually losing, he actually does start to hit a little harder. So you do see up substantial damage. Plus his burn is probably one of the better burns in the game. So for that, I'll put him low A+, maybe top of A. But that's because I use him as a cleanup guy. He's literally the only cleanup guy I use in the game, and he does a pretty good job of it.
Yeah, personally, I would put him in high A.
High A, okay, yeah, okay, I agree. I was on the fence about that, so we're gonna go high with that. I'm totally okay with putting him there. And again, guys, like if you ever need a cleanup guy, like he's great for it. There are better options nowadays, but for anyone who's a healer, heavy wound is the way to go because you can stop a lot of heals from popping. Okay, what else do we got now? Now I just want to point out, guys, we don't have the new Daru, we don't have the new Sasuri, and we don't have Toby on this list, okay? Because we got to test them. We don't want to put stuff out without testing. They look really, really freaking good right now, so we can tell you that much. If you have them, build them. You won't regret it. But right now, we don't want to give them a rating until we know that, first off, if Bandai is going to reverse the plus 140% damage and go back to 40 like all other AoEs, or if they're going to keep it. If they keep it, it's a no-brainer. If they don't keep it, then we got to reiterate everything. So we're going to wait a few days and kind of just see how it goes until the banner is over, and then we'll discuss those guys next time. Anyway, so next one we have is, I believe, Sarida, the new one. I like her personally. Here's the thing. I don't like confusion in PVE because everything's already jumbled as it is, right? You're not getting proper categories already or proper cells. So sometimes Confuse actually puts cells back together the way they're supposed to go, which messes things up for me. Her limit breaks her limit break is great. Her trait's great. So I put her either really really low S or I put her A plus for what she brings. But I don't think she deserves anything higher than that.
Yeah, personally, I don't have her, but I would agree on what you were saying.
Okay, so I'm gonna put her high A plus for now. Just for now, and then we'll talk about her a little more. I want to get back to her as well too. Actually, you know what? No, you know what? I'm gonna put her low S for now because I think she might deserve low S because of everything else she brings. The heavy wound that I just discussed. We talked about the buffs. She gives crit buffs and attack buffs. So we'll leave her in S for now. Yeah, low S I think is good for her. Let's leave her there, and we'll go back to her if we have to. Okay, is that it for URs? Oh no, we have one more. SMN. The coolest looking character, but yet just doesn't bring enough to the table for me personally. He does heal himself, which is great, so he does have some survivability, and he does hit like a truck to D units, which there are nowadays a lot of in Abyss. So I'm okay with putting him at low S or middle S blue, because I know you have him at a high star, so I'm going to let you speak on him.
Yeah, I would say middle S for sure. Like, he's really good. He's super strong, but he's not like one of the first picks I would choose for like my first team going in Abyss.
Right. He's a cleanup squad for you, essentially. Before Hedon or after Hedon?
I would go after Hedon because Hedon has better utility to bring.
Okay, I agreed. Agreed on that. And then Sarida can stay there. So I think that's all the URs, guys. I think that's pretty much covered every UR in the game at the moment outside of the 3 new ones. Am I missing anybody here? I don't think so. No, that's it. So let's look at the top SS. Blue, do we agree? Heavy first, Kakashi tied. I don't know how to tie them, but do we care about this order?
Yeah, they're pretty much tied.
Okay. Karen, we know is there. This we agree with. Gara, we agree with. Dedera, I personally would put now Jiraiya over Dedera. Only because he brings the tribe gauge up, but I don't know how you feel about that.
I would say, honestly, Datara is lowest SS.
Okay.
Personally, I didn't even use him in Last Abyss.
Right, me either. Do we want to move him to S now? Because I'd like to keep SS into maximum 6 if possible. You think he still deserves SS, or do you want to move him down to S?
Well, they're both really good, and both of their tribes are used in Abyss.
Yeah, I know. It's true. Okay, let's leave him. We'll put 7 because the list is growing. Okay, so CM2, Kamu Kakashi, Payne, Hedon, SMN, and Sarida. We're good with that? That order?
Yeah, pretty much Kamui and Payne is like tied.
Tied. Yeah, I'd say that too. I think Kakashi might have just a little bit of an advantage just due to his buffs. I like his buffs better because I run a heavy damage team, but if anybody runs a utility / defense team, Payne is way better for you. So I agree. They deserve tied. So CM2, only the reason why, guys, he gets an advantage. Number one, he hits harder. He has the highest status effect for Paralyze because it's built into his, essentially. And he has a stun, obviously, and he hits freaking hard. So we'll leave him there. Okay, SMN and Sarida we agreed with. Sarida, I'm going to leave her an S. I'll leave her low category S for now, just because of the buffs that she brings, and Confuse can help in Abyss, but again, it can also mess it up. And I hate if statements, so we'll leave her low S. Naruto Kage, you know what? I'll leave it there. I agree. He's starting to get dated. Chiyo, Kovadmaru. I'm going to put Itachi over Chiyo, personally, just because he does hit super hard still. I don't know how you feel about that. Chiyo does hit decently, but I mean, honestly, if you're bringing in a heavy nuke, he's not bad.
Yep.
Okay, so let's put him there. Chiyo there. Naruto or B? We're going to put Naruto last, or you want to put B last?
I'll put B last.
B last. Okay, there you go, guys. So that's the UR list. Papa Sasuke, we're going to leave an A, I guess. That's okay. Karen, screw it. We're going to drop her to D. She deserves it. She wants that D anyways.
Yep.
All right. We're going to be doing... Next is SR. So let's just go through this quickly. Asuma, I'm going to say high-end A or high-end A+. A lot of guard rate. Pretty selfish for guard rate at the LB2 trait section. I have him built. But he's a great tank if you need just to protect your squad. He's good pairing with anyone who has guard rate up. But that's all he brings is guard rate mostly. So I mean,
Yeah.
I'm okay with A or A plus. I'll maybe toss him an A.
I would say high end A right next to Papasuke right now.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. I put A plus. Brings the same buffs as Hedon. Has a stun built in. So actually, I would even put him before B personally and Yor Naruto in my opinion because he's also a tank. He does great damage and also takes hits. So he's a great soaker. So in my opinion, I think before these two, or at least here like that before his brother.
Yeah, the thing is though, there's like so many characters that are like him, so it's gonna be a big list.
Yeah. So what do you think? Stunner, put him in high A or low A plus?
Probably right before B, because I would rather use him.
Over B?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right,
He
Berserk
just brings
Naruto.
more to. He just brings more than B.
He does,
You
I
know.
agree. B's a very selfish character. So a lot of people don't know how to use this guy. So I've actually tested him out. I didn't do a full showcase, but I got someone else's numbers. He actually does hit really hard. The only problem with Berserk Naruto is he has his trait is half defeat enemy, and his LB2 is defeat ally. So he's a mixed bag, but it can work really well in Abyss because there's so much back and forth between killing enemies and characters. So he does hit really hard. I would actually put him maybe up to right here, maybe, or even right here, just because SRs are easier to level. He's actually hitting harder than Naruto you are at the moment for me. So either there, or we can go a like around here. Only reason why I'm saying that is because he's very situational.
Yeah, he's very situational. I'll put him probably where you are Naruto is,
You are
like
Naruto?
around that area.
Yeah, I agree. Just because he does hit super hard. So anyone who's using, if you're fighting a lot of T's like this, Abyss, for example, there are a few T's there. Or no, there's one T. He hits Toby and everyone else pretty hard. So I mean, he's not bad. So A plus, I think he's decent. He's a power creep character for an SR, so he's pretty much a Baruto, not as good nuke though. Okay, Blossom and Abyss. Personally, I love Blossom. I use her for Tribe Gauge ×2 because she has her S2 and her special, and she does a ton of healing, and she gives damage rate reduction up, and she gives chakra. I think she personally deserves to be like right here in S with before Sarida. She just brings a lot of survivability to the table and gives your entire crew a lot to work with.
Yeah, I would agree on that. Her utility is just really great. She heals and the tribe.
Perfect. Okay, so we'll say S there, guys. Yeah, she's actually on my main team. I use her all the time for Abyss. She clears content with me. Baruto. In Abyss, honestly, he's part of my cleanup crew. FG, he's part of my main. I would put him A plus, probably right even here, because of the damage he brings. But in Abyss, they just hit way too hard and too often. So for me, he's not a survivor. He's just a nuker. So unfortunately, doesn't bring enough to Abyss for me. I don't know. You use him better than anybody I know. So how do you feel?
Yeah, I'd put him like right where Berserk Naruto is. At the end of the day, it's just straight damage.
Nuke. Right. Okay. Perfect. SR Heavy. This one here is a tough one. So I love him a lot because he brings so much to the table, but he just can't outclass some of the UR stats. So I mean, because of his utility, I would put him before CM2, or I'd put him right in here beside Datara if you want. But I think personally he belongs either in SS or S. He's just way too good not to have on your team.
Yeah, I'll put him right before CM2.
CM2? Okay, perfect. So top end S. Daru. Now here's an interesting one. I don't have him built, but I know a lot of people that do, and they love him. He buffs all D's attack, and he brings a ton of utility for D units. Personally, I'd say like right in this area for Abyss if you're running a D heavy team, but we know D heavy teams don't exactly win Abyss or FG, or he would be really low end S. But I would say A plus ahead of Naruto Kage because of all the buffs that he brings.
Yeah, I've never used him, but on paper he does sound really good, and I would put him before Naruto Kage.
Yeah, let's see what I want to see what a lot of people here say.
It's like very situational on your team. That's why.
So okay, let's go to the crowd here. Okay, so yeah, we're talking about tank teams, and I agree he's great for tank teams. But the problem is we're doing Abyss, right? So Mr. Man, I agree with you. He's phenomenal, probably the best for tank teams because of what he brings for tanks. But tank teams aren't finishing Abyss. So I think for where he's at, we have him at top end A plus. I think that's fair. Just if you look at the rest of the S's here, I don't think he matches up very well to the rest of them.
Honestly, it just depends on the future units
Yeah,
because of
exactly.
what they're doing right now with the power creep. So he could be very good with the new Sasuri on his damage.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so you know what, guys? We'll leave him as A plus for now. He can definitely be low end S, but I think for the sake of what characters are out now that are D, besides Jiraiya and the new Sasori, there aren't that, and Naruto Kage who are nukes, and Hedon maybe. There aren't very many other D nukes out there. So we're gonna leave him here for now, but he may definitely go up, so we'll keep an eye on him for sure. All right, let's go with Guy Sensei. Great tank, has burn built in. Buffs 3-man cells with DRR. I mean, he would probably be like right in this area for me. Maybe around here, A plus, right after I, because he has 3-man cells, so he's limited. So, for example, if you only have two characters, he'll only buff. But if, for example, I will buff everyone with A. So if you're running a heavy A team, he can buff like 7 characters versus Guy buffing 3 only. So I think either A plus, or we can even actually, you know what? I take that back.
Honestly, I'll put him right after Asuma.
Yeah, he belongs right there. I take that back. Yep. No, he's good there. Okay. Let's go next to Hinata. Fallen off. The queen has fallen off quite a bit. Still a fantastic FTP unit. Still does pretty decent damage.
It's like a low A.
I think low A now. Yeah, she used to be up here, but now that the power creep has happened and better characters, she's definitely low A. Okay, so we're gonna keep her there. Let's jump into my boy Haku. Here's the thing with Haku. He's fantastic in FG, almost a necessity, but in Abyss, not so much. He's part of my cleanup crew. So I would put him like maybe here. Or maybe even top end A. That's how I feel about him in Abyss. I don't use him in Abyss. He's too squishy.
Yeah, I would agree on that. People only probably use him in Abyss because they built him for FG.
Right, agreed. So do you think before I or after I?
I'll go after because A still has the stun.
Has the advantage. Oh, okay, yeah, that's right. Okay. Let's go with Kisame. I'm going to put him as a C. Doesn't bring enough to the table. Does almost no damage.
Yeah, his kit is just all over the place.
Yeah, it's all over the place. They really need to revamp him. I can't wait for Zuar. I feel like he's going to be another redemption character. So we're going to leave him there. Let's bring out the newest addition to the crew, Sai. Somebody who has been talked about quite a bit in the last few days, weeks, etc. Personally, I think he just brings way too much to every team now with his LB2. I would put him in SS personally for all content. I mean, maybe right here with Jiraiya, and right before Daru, or maybe right after. But he definitely deserves to be on the SS tier list.
Honestly, I'd put him right before Daru. I use him in everything now.
Before like this, right here?
Right before Daru.
Oh, yeah. So like here. Oh no, wait, I have him there. Oh, there we go, right there. Yeah, okay, so for those who are wondering, yes, this is a tier list for Abyss, and he's fantastic for Abyss. And yes, Haku is the best to fight tactical, absolutely. The problem is with Abyss, you don't know what you're getting. You can get a lot more Ds than Ts, you can get a lot more As than Ts. So I agree with you. That's why Haku's probably going to be SS in FG, which we'll get to. But Sai brings so much to the freaking table. Like, he gives everybody chakra every turn. There's no limitation, guys. So if you've not used them, watch my showcase or just check him out on anyone's videos. You'll see he deserves to be SS in every category. So definitely work on your side.
Yep.
So
pretty much after one rotation, you get a jutsu every turn with every character.
With every character. So you're going to be just nonstop nuking. So definitely get him up if you don't have him. All right, Mama Sakura. Still one of the best characters in the game, in my opinion. Still one of the best complete kits. I would put her probably like around here because of her heal, because she has a stun, she has attack down, she has the RR up. God, what doesn't she do, right? The only thing she doesn't do is give tribes and chakra. But I still think one of the best characters in the game. I think she deserves high-end A, or now I guess middle A because of where we're at. but she is still one of my favorites, Blue. So how do you feel about her?
Personally, I would put her in S right after Payne, or maybe even before that.
Okay. Yeah, I'll put her here just because Payne nukes so much harder. So
Yeah.
and he gives the buffs when he kills, or it doesn't kill even now. At this point, we know
Because
how that works.
I know a lot of people's using that nice cheese with a SMJ, Mama Sakura, and D Heavy.
D heavy, yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Okay, yep. I'll even go. So we'll go there, just because she doesn't hit as hard as everybody else does, but she just brings the full kit to everybody. And it's hard, guys. We used to have her in SS, and she probably still could sit there if you really want to use her. Keep in mind, guys, S means they're pretty much some of the best characters in the game to use for Abyss. So like you should be running these characters if you have them built up. Like that's the whole point of S. A plus you can live without. They can be part of your cleanup crew. A is literally cleanup crew. B is like the trash fodder people you send in with BCD just to get your tribe level up. That's essentially how we're considering this at this point. All right, so let's go to the next character. Let's do Kakazu. Now, this is interesting because we know how good he is. He's fantastic. He's phenomenal. But now, because we don't have them on the tier list yet, if that 140% is real on the AoEs, he's going to drop off really quickly. But because they're not on the list, we're going to rate him as he is now. Pretending those characters didn't exist, I would put him probably around here myself, just because he does stacking DRR. Abyss is a long-lasting fight, so he can stack many times, and he hits people 50% more, way more damage when they have 50% health or higher. And Abyss, because everybody has so much health, that's always going to be the case. So he definitely does a lot of damage. So, and he has burn. So I would put him there, Blue. I don't know how you feel about that.
Yeah, I agree on that one.
Okay, perfect. So that's a quick one. Let's go Conan. I'm gonna put her as a I don't know, a D or a C. I might put her before Corinne. Doesn't really do much in terms of damage. Has an AOE, has DRR. You can have way better characters that have the same kit. Just an overall, in my opinion, useless character. So, do you agree with that, or?
Yeah, she's only good for tribes.
Yep, exactly. So use her, guys, if you don't have Payne for the tribes purposes, but that's about it. New Mama Sakura. I'll put her maybe a C just because she does have an AoE that does decent, and she does have some buffs, but nowhere near comparison to her T version. So definitely near Kasame. Kit's all over the place as well. Just doesn't bring enough. Maybe even before Kasame, just because she does an AoE. Kasame has a really weak normal attack.
Best thing she does is give guard rate on LB2.
Guard rate up. Exactly. Agreed. So, C, you okay with C?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Okay, Neji, for this, just because again, Sai just nullified him completely, and honestly, other characters with crit now nullify him. I'd put him maybe here, maybe before Hinata at this point because he does give chakra up. Hell, maybe even before Guy. I'll maybe put him here, but I don't think he deserves to go higher.
So much other options to use, you know.
Exactly. Just too many better options now. All right, Conqueror. Honestly, like a good nuke, he has the same. If the target is killed, he gets attack up kind of scenario. So I mean, he could probably sit here with Hinata. Sorry, guys, his face is so low. He's just ugly. I don't want to get his whole face, anyways. Yeah, I think about A, maybe even B at this point because we don't have anybody in the B list. He could probably sit in there even.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that.
Actually,
you like him better than B?
He's like better than Hinata, I would say.
You think so?
Yeah, because Hinata's damage like caps out after a certain while, you know.
See, the only thing I like about Hinata is she's the only character in the game that can self buff to 148% crit.
Even then, her damage is not that much, you know.
Okay, so let's put him here then for now. I still think Hinata is better than him, but I'm very biased because I hate the Sand Tribe, except for Gara. Yeah. So I'm gonna let my bias sit away. We'll put him there for now, and we'll keep him there. All right, let's go.
You got someone bashing you on the Neji placement.
Is it Toes again?
Can't say.
Yeah. Who is it?
Yeah, it is. I would just ignore it at this point, though. It'd just be a constant battle.
Oh, is it Toes? Yeah, I know. This is a battle with Toes that we always go on. He's outdated, Toes. I'm sorry, man. There's too many better options.
Yeah,
Shikamaru.
That's what people without data say.
Shikamaru brings a lot to Abyss now with the stun and the buffs to T's, and we know there's a lot of T characters in the S and SS link now. So I'd put him low S, high A plus, he has the highest damage reduction rate at 55%. It's at level 74. So that's reducing someone's DRR by 50% and then offering a good stun, and then increasing all T attack, which is pretty high up actually. So I think either low S blue for him now or A plus.
Honestly, I'd put him like right before Kakazu.
Right before Kakazu, right here.
Yeah, after Mama Sakura.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I agree with that. He does bring a little more utility.
Like I remember when Abyss just started coming
That's
out.
right. He was one of the main characters we used. That's true. That's very
Same
true.
with that too.
That's true. Yeah. Okay, let's go to Sarida. So here's the thing. I love her because of her heavy wound. I think she has heavy wound and burn, right? If I remember correctly. But she also offers damage rate reduction at a super high percentage, and she gives attack and DIR up. So she's essentially a mini Kirin without the nuking ability and the stun. So I could actually see her in A plus personally, probably even like here, to be quite honest, because of what she could bring to the table. I think she just brings a lot. She can buff a lot of units really fast and also damage a lot of units, damage reduction rate down. So I personally still use her as a cleanup crew. So my A plus unit, definitely part of my second team.
Yeah, I'll put her like right before Baruto actually.
You think over here?
Yeah, she's really good. That's why, because she gives the heavy wound, lowers D, same buffs as Kirin for skill 4. Okay. I think she has the highest buffs too for the percentages. Well, for attack, that is.
Right. Okay, that's perfect. So let's leave it there. I think I agree with that. Orochimaru. Honestly, I love Orochimaru. I think he definitely deserves to be right up here. Super tanky, has silence. They can't do tribes, and it's at 60%. Plus, if you add status effect rate up, you can actually get it capped up almost to 80% with enough of that. Also, the fact that he has that confused, which helps once in a while, and a single target confused sometimes is better than AoE confused, and he has attack down, and he has crit suppression, and a ton of other debuffs. Love him personally. I think he's great. I think he has one of the best tribes in the game. So either A+, high A+, even before maybe Daru, or maybe low S for him, but he's definitely still one of my favorite characters to use in Abyss.
Honestly, I put him right in front of Sarida, because that silence is very clutch.
Yeah, I think so too. So yeah, S. Okay, yeah, I agree with S. That's a good call there. Let's go regular Naruto. I mean, honestly, I'll put him as a B. Pretty common nuke, has the same skill set as you are, nowhere near the same stats. So I think the main character B. I think that's pretty straightforward.
What's that? SR Naruto?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. He's like, you could just use a UR one at this point if you have it.
Exactly, and he does way more damage. Character discussion for the original OG Sakura, who heals and does T plus or does the defense plus. Honestly, I put her in B as well. I think they kind of fit really well together there. Again, Blossom's just a way better option, right? So like, why would you use her if you have Blossom?
Yeah.
All right, so let's go to Jugo. Yeah, I'd say either B or C for him. I think low end B. He does have heals for a tank, which is unique. So he heals the lowest person. He heals himself also every round, which scales off of his attack, and he also has crit suppression rate up, so he stops crits from coming in a little bit. So he's not a bad character, but not one of the best tanks. So I put him as B.
Honestly, I put him at right before Guy, bro.
Really?
I used the Commander Heavy tribe, that's why I last Abyss.
Yeah, but I don't want to base it just on a tribe.
I mean, he's really good. I mean, if you just stack all the defense on him, he just never dies.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna do this for now then, and we'll get back to him. We'll rearrange this, guys. I know a lot of you are probably wondering what the hell's going on, but these are the whole point of this is for you guys to join. We'll get to the comment section after this is done, and we'll look at your comments, and we'll look at this again, and we'll revamp it if we have to somehow. But for the most part, you have to remember this is, for example, me, who has all these characters leveled up and showcased most of them, and then you have Blue, who's also used a lot of these characters. So we're trying our best here to give you guys a true justification without any biases. So we'll get back to looking at this in a second. So let's go to Kabuto. Kabuto I personally love, but he has to be paired with somebody who has status effect, which nowadays mostly everybody does. He does do a decent percentage nuke. I would probably put him like near Neji before Asuma or maybe after Asuma, but he also does the minus the D down for defense and DRR too. So he does have Haku's debuff, sorry, but it just doesn't hit quite as strong. So I put him either here or here. And he heals,
Yeah,
right?
I agree with that.
Okay, so I'm going to leave him here for now, just because Neji doesn't require as much as him. Sasuri, I mean, the only thing he's really good for is poison and
dying.
So we're going to put him there. I will probably put her last, because I still don't see a use for her. He'll be around this area here. What do we got? Sugetsu. I know you love him, so I'm going to let you decide on this one. I have him leveled up. I think he deserves A+ only, but I know a lot of you guys will vouch for him to be S.
Well, not S. We're talking about like all the SRDs they gave that give like the similar guard rate stuff.
Right.
He probably has the best kit because he stacks the guard rate every time someone dies.
Right.
So because he doesn't have a stun, I'll put him like after A.
After A?
Right before Haku.
Like here? Or before, sorry, like here? Okay, got him. Right before. Okay. That's fair. Now, if a lot of you don't know his kit, really review his kit. He's actually we used to call him Mini Garo for a reason. He has insane tanking kit. Now, he hits like a granny on her deathbed, so Chio, but he does bring so much utility to your group. So he's a really good character. So if a lot of you have been sleeping on him, you've probably been sleeping on Sai as well. Check out both those guys if you're in need of a good tank. He'll do a lot for you. Trust me. All right, let's get into the third Hokage, Mr. Saratobi himself. Honestly, just like Sasuri, he's only good for dying, in my opinion. He just struck her down when he dies. That's all that matters to him.
Yeah, I put him in the same spot as him.
Okay, Yamato. I honestly would put him before Guy. I think he has a better kit than Guy. Actually, I would probably put him ahead of Asuma even, because he does bring crit suppression, guard rate, and DRR, I believe. So he does all of it. He just doesn't hit quite as hard as Guy does, but he hits very similar to Asuma, but doesn't bring as much guard rate. So he gives you more buffs, but less percentages and less damage. So I don't know what's better here, utility or as a tank. I don't really bring him for damage, though. I bring him for utility. So I think he deserves to set up here. What do you think? Are you okay with that?
Sorry, I have to wait for your stream to load.
Oh, it's not loading?
Where do you have him at?
I put him right here beside Papa Sasuke.
I would put him next to like Guy.
Next to Guy?
I mean, he's great. But I think there's just better Ds that outdate him now.
So if that's the case, then I think we need to move Asuma as well.
Yeah.
I think Asuma's going to have to be like right over here.
I mean, best thing Asuma got is like what?
His guard rate.
Guard rate damage reduction or something?
Exactly. It's all guard rate for him. Okay, so we'll do that then for now. Let's see, where are we at here? Tsunade. Honestly, she's falling off a lot to me. I think she's still an A character. I think maybe like around here. She gives the most chakra out of anybody in the game, but she literally brings no damage. But that chakra increase is pretty incredible. So actually, I could see her even being an A+, to be honest, but I would be comfortable keeping her low A. It depends on, she has one of the best tribes, but we're not comparing tribes here. So I'm going to say A, low A personally, because of now how many people outclass her in heals and in chakra giving, but I don't use her very often.
Yeah, well, either A, like high A, mid A. I think that's where she'll belong.
Yeah, I'll say let's just put her here. We'll put her right around here. I think that's fair. Maybe before these guys as a healer. She probably does more than these tanks do, I think. So we'll do that. Right before Kabuto. Kabuto does bring a lot more to the table than her. And then we have two more left for SRs, guys. We have Rock Lee and we have Zabaza. So let's do Rock Lee first. He has honestly fallen off a lot. A lot. Like, he used to be one of my favorite characters to use. I would probably put him like at this point, like right around maybe here or here, but I would put him low A personally. I never use him anymore. Just too much. Like, you need to have him at 50% health to do more damage, and at that point in Abyss, he just gets one-shotted, and he just doesn't keep up with the rest of the nukes in the game.
Yeah, like right where Hinata is.
Yeah, I think so. And he brings less than Hinata, even though he does give crit up and stuff, and he has attack and defense up when somebody dies. It's in Abyss. He's way too squishy. So Zabaza, I'm gonna put him like maybe B or C, maybe C here because he has good damage skills, but they're all over the place. They don't make sense. I feel like when they made him, they didn't know what they were doing. So I think maybe C is good for him. I've seen some people send me some videos of him. I think Hat has a really good one. He showed us some stuff about him, but I don't think overall that he's any good for Abyss. He's just, for me, he's a kill tribes list guy or tribes age guy.
Well, seeing him fully built up, I could see him being like high B.
High B? Okay.
Like right before SR Naruto. Because
Like
his kid is still good. Like his jutsu gives like free DIR.
Right. Okay, so we'll leave him there then, because I honestly, I've seen some videos people have sworn by him, but they've also said there's way better characters out there. Okay, guys, so let's now get into the R's real quick and get these out of the way. I think we're gonna start off with let's start off with Choji. He does give tribes gauge up. He does give DRR up, I believe. So I'm gonna put him in B because of the fact that he's an AOE tribe gauge up, and I believe his skill 2 does also tribe gauge. Am I right on that, or am I wrong?
Yeah, I think so.
I think
his
it
skill
does.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just outmatched in terms of his like stats. They're just R stats at this point. Nobody should really be using R's except for Kiba. So I'm okay with B. Blue, I don't know how you feel.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. At the end of the day, he still gives tribes.
Exactly, so he deserves that. I'm gonna put D. We're not even gonna waste our time on her. Kiba, I'll give him an A because of his instant jutsu. Probably right before a Conqueror, but he's a glass cannon. One hit and he's dead, right?
Yep.
Okay. Kova Maru, he does give defense up. I mean, I'll put him here in C, just because he does have defense up. Or we can put him in D if you like, but that's about the only thing that I think he brings to the table.
They built him like he's supposed to be a D.
I agree. And there's a T unit. So what do you think? D, or should we just give him a D because he deserves to be a D? Or
Yep.
All right, let's do that. Okay, Mitsuki, I will give him a C. I think he's probably still better than Kisame. He has a stun at least, and he has heavy wound.
People still use him.
Yeah, so I'll give him a C there. Shino deserves SS tier. No, I'm just joking. Shino probably a C as well. Chakra down is pretty much all he brings. He is pretty tanky, but that's about it. And 1010 probably high end B because of she's the only person that has guard suppression and has attack up and has a AoE stun. What do we think? Are you okay with that?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, perfect, guys. So that is the full list for Abyss. So I'm going to get into you guys now. Let's see what you guys have to say here. Yeah, we're not doing Shino SS. Toes, bro, get off Neji, man. We're not talking about Neji like that. This is supposed to be a real list. I'm not doing Neji's not an SS, nor is he an S character. No one, I've never seen that. Why is Shino C? Because he only has chakra down and he has a couple defense buffs, so he's not doing that much. Yeah, I mean, you guys can go ahead and look at that if you like. You can also talk to Cougar, wherever he may be, about Shino. Neji after Sarida, you are one. You're out of your mind. That's not happening. Blue, do you agree with that? Let's go with that.
What's that?
So Toes is saying that Neji deserves to be right before Sarida as you are on the list.
Honestly, like I said, dude, people who defend Neji are people who don't have data.
He doesn't tank. Bro, he doesn't tank. Then you gotta build your Kakashi better. If Neji's doing more than your Kakashi, something is wrong with your Kakashi.
100% something wrong with even I had to say something about that.
No, okay.
There's no way.
Logan, any opinion on new Sasuri? All the new characters are absolutely fantastic. We're not giving them a tier list, but they're broken. Let's just go with that for now. They're completely broken. So we're going to talk about them later, though. Okay, guys, so this is it. This is it for now. We've got it all set up here. I'm going to go ahead and save this tier list. So NXB Ninja Tribes Abyss tier list. So we'll do October 2020 Abyss tier list, and we'll say by Tribes Lab. We'll say specifically Blue and Payne. All right, guys. Well, that's one down. FG. FG will go a lot faster, I promise you. All right. Excuse the bonus stuff that's happening right now. So we're gonna go ahead and create this tier list, I guess. I've actually never done this. This is my first time. Perfect. Okay. That takes care of that. So we're gonna reset here. And we are going to start the FG one. Okay, let's do this quick. We're going to go by quickly here. So let's go with FG Essentials, Blue. Haku SS?
Yep.
Okay, let's find Haku. Where are you?
You think you could stream it on Discord so I can see it in real time?
Oh, yeah, my bad. 1 sec, bro. Let me actually go full screen real quick, presentation mode. And let me screen it on Discord. Okay, you should be able to see my screen now. You see it?
Yep.
Perfect. Okay, so we'll go Haku. Let me find this guy. Where the hell is he? If it's somebody who's using their eyes. Ah, there we go. Haku. Okay, SS. We know this, guys, because he does a ton of nukes. He debuffs T units, which are happening a lot nowadays, because they're releasing T units like it's candy. And he's actually buffs your A attacks for 2 turns, which usually lets your Kakashi and your Instajutsu guys hit way harder. So he definitely is a must-have for FG. Neji, let's get Neji out of the way just because I know he's going to be brought up 100 times. I'm going to give him
bro.
an S.
It's showing me your folder with the pictures inside.
Oh, weird. My bad. Okay, 1 sec, guys. Sorry, just give me a sec, guys. Share your screen, stop screen, da-da-da. Oh, there we go. That's why. My bad, Blue. There we go. You should be able to see now. You see it?
Yep.
Okay, so Neji, S. Brings Chakra, does decent nuking damage, so he can actually build your force team up a little bit in terms of FG. He can make them go second turn. Are you okay with S, or do you think he deserves to go lower?
S is good for Neji.
S is good? Okay. So again, guys, this is FG, okay? Let's go with Kirin, SS. Just brings way too much to the table.
Yeah.
Okay.
SS for sure.
Before Haku, obviously. We're going to put Haku before there. Let's get Kakashi and Hebi out of the way. We know they're going to be SS. They're going to be 1 and 2 as usual. So let me find these guys. SSS, where are you? Kakashi. There he is. Okay, I'm going to put these guys where they go. 1 there. 1 there. Okay, so that doesn't change, guys. Datara, again, in terms of what he brings to the table, low SS or high S. I don't always use him anymore, personally.
So I would still put him as SS because I know that can be the push for people to beat FG.
That's true. That extra damage. CM2, I would put him SS for sure for FG because he can do second Jutsu now. Or first time Jutsu if he's in Energy Cell with Tsunade or if you have him with Sai.
Well, and the fact he gives 20% attack.
That's right.
From anywhere.
That's right. So I'm going to put him here beside Kirin. There we go. Gaara, I'm going to actually put him in S for that because FG doesn't really require him. Actually, he can probably be an A+ realistically.
Honestly, he's like, no one ever uses him.
Yeah, I know. So that's what I'm kind of thinking. A?
Even if it was a FG, you'd still use A.
Yeah, you still wouldn't use him. That's true. You still wouldn't use him. You're correct. OG Jiraiya, I give him S for sure.
S for sure. He does give damage.
Oh, what's going on with my screen? Sorry, guys. S, boop, right there. Probably a little bit before Neji, just because of the tribes. Kovadmaru, I'm going to give him an A.
Yeah, pretty much all the unusable characters are just going to go in A.
Yep. Chio, I actually might give her an A+. Just because she actually does decent damage as a T unit, and she can go first turn Jutsu with the proper chakra build.
Yeah, since we don't have that much T-nukers.
Mm-hmm. Baruto, pretty much an essential. SS or S high S?
He's SS. He just does so much damage.
Yeah, I think so too. I think he's part of my cleanup last crew for Spirit nuke, so 100% deserves that.
He's so easy to build up.
Hedon I'll give A+, because he actually does nuke A units, so if it's an FG with an A, he'll actually do quite a bit. Who else do we have here? Sai, SS, obviously. He deserves SS pretty much in every category. So
I would say he would be. I would use him more instead of Kirin, honestly.
yeah, I would too. I think you're right. So he'll probably
The extra jutsus he gives is just.
It's insane.
Yep.
Let's see here. Where are we at now? You are Naruto. I'd give him an S still. He's still one of the best nukes out there. So I'll give him that.
People still use him because that's the other nuker they have.
Yep. And Itachi, I'd give an S as well, low S. He's great for T units, especially.
Yep. It just depends on your Itachi.
Exactly. Kamui, I'd give SS and FG because you probably will clean up with your force, and he'll be on that team to do it.
Yeah.
And then he'll give your last team.
Yeah, for the average player, if you just time it on the kill on force, then the spirit is gonna hit hella hard.
Yep. And if you guys are wondering what he gives, it's damage increase rate up, crit damage rate up, and crit rate up by 22-23% if you're at the highest level possible. I think 20% if you're at 74. So he'll make your spirit, as Blue was saying, just insane. And it stacks with Datara's crit damage.
Yeah, it's gonna be like over 40%.
Yeah. Yeah. So definitely deserves it. Payne. I'd say S for him.
He's good, yeah, he's S.
Or do you think SS because he does the same type of buff increase?
Well, the thing is, he doesn't give the other two buffs that Kakashi gives.
Exactly. So I'd say maybe first in the S category for that.
Yep.
B. Honestly, B is not bad in FG. I actually use him for his damage. I put him low S, and he gives a stun. Probably before Itachi. Actually, probably before Neji, even, to be honest, for me. The stun is a pretty big deal to stop like Kovadmaru doing his special. So, and the fact that he does the 3-man chain vitality. So I put him there personally. I use him a lot, and then gets the job done. Mama Sakura. Oh no, sorry, that's not your. Naruto Kage, I'd say also A.
Yep.
Pretty
much every D is gonna go into A.
Yeah, pretty much every D. You're right. I might even put SMJ first, to be honest, because he deserves. He has a stun at least and burn.
Yeah. Honestly, those don't matter.
They don't. Papa Sasuke, I don't know. A, I guess too.
Yeah.
Useless.
He's AOE too, so
she is like
weaker AOEs.
Agreed. If there was a category of like unusable, she'd be there. Tsunade, I'm gonna actually, you know what? We won't do those yet. Let's just finish the URs. Where are we at here? SMN, I think S or A plus.
Well, we haven't had a FG with a D yet, in it, right? But he would be S.
Yeah, I think so too. He'd probably be with the top, maybe a little better than Itachi.
He's probably the best T nuker we have right now.
Yep. Sarida, I'd probably say A plus.
Yeah, I haven't really tested her that much.
I have, and her buffs are great, so I put her probably there.
It's just that we're so limited on our space.
Exactly, with the 9-man team. Okay, is that every UR? Who am I missing? Is there anyone missing? Sorry, guys, I'm going through the list here real quick. Nope, nobody's missing. So those are the essentials. I know I did Haku first, and I did Neji as the S's and Baruto, but you know what? We'll just get the other S's out of the way. So D units, I'm gonna put Asuma's B. There's no point in guard rate. I put I guess A as A. Yeah, I guess he brings a stun. So we'll put him there. Berserk Naruto, A plus as a nuke. Or S as a nuke. Because he does hit really freaking hard.
Yeah, I didn't really look at his stats, but he probably would be like near B, because he would do more damage than B, and that's what.
Yeah, FG's that's true. Right? That's true. Yeah. So you know what? Actually, I'm gonna put him before Neji. I'm gonna put B here, like that, because Neji does give chakra up, so he's actually not bad. I will say he's not bad for this specific event. Blossom is gonna go B. Actually, no, I'll give her A because she does the tribe gauge up at least, the very least. Even if you don't have her heal, she can do that for you. So we'll put her low A. Daru, FG is useless. Choji, actually we won't even do Choji. Little guy, we'll put B. SR Heavy, I'll put A as well. Again, he'll bring status effect up at least, but you're not going to use him. Let's talk about Kakazu. S or A plus? I think S, because the amount of damage he does.
Yeah, you could put him like where Neji is.
Yeah, I think so. He's pretty good there. There we go. We'll do that. Who else we have here? Mama Sakura. Use her for the attack up. So I put her in
she's
S.
Great if you don't have Kirin.
Exactly. So I put her in S, maybe like high S, even like here maybe. Right there. I think that fits. Right after Kakazu. Shikamaru, S, high S as well.
Yeah, probably before you or Naruto.
Yeah, like that. There we go. Yeah, shout out to MRN. I know how much you love him, so I hope you enjoy all the love he's getting. Hinata, honestly, A plus, I guess, because she does do a little bit of damage. Or just an A. I'm looking at the A list. She probably deserves to be an A plus because she's a nuker at least.
Yeah.
Put her there. Sasuri, we'll put him at C maybe because if he does die, at least he does defense down. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, I'm cool with
He's
that.
irrelevant anyways. Conqueror, A plus.
Yeah, where like Hinata is.
Yeah, right there. SR Naruto we'll put as B. Sorry, I'm gonna get the B's out of the way. Geez, Sakura, I guess D. I don't even see a use for her. New Sakura D maybe as well.
Yeah.
Sugetsu D. Maybe Sugetsu maybe put him with the B's, whatever. Orochimaru with silence deserves to go with S. Right? Agree with that?
Well, FG is a damage check, so I don't really think you can do that because we
That's
can just
true.
reset it anyway.
That's true. Sorry, I meant A plus. So I'll put him with the rest of the tanks though. So I'll put him in A, whatever. He brings crit suppression at least, so he can do more crits.
Honestly, anybody in A or lower, you would never use.
You would never use. It's the truth, guys. We're just giving you more options in case you need to get a higher percentage. That's really it. So, but Tsunade, on the other hand, though, I will give her at least an S, low S, because she's the only other one that if you don't have Sai built up, that can give your energy cell enough to do Jujitsu.
Yeah.
So
she's still great. You
Yeah,
don't have side.
exactly. So I'll put her in S there. Kiba definitely deserves high end S. I would say like right before Jiraiya, maybe before Jiraiya, so Payne and then Kiba.
Yes. Well, he is used in every single one. I would still put him like high S.
Yeah, so I'll put him there. I'll put him second S. I personally don't use Kiba anymore. I don't have to, but a lot of people should be as F2Ps. Like he's phenomenal guy. So
he gets replaced by CM2.
Exactly. Let's see what else we got. Kisame D. Actually, yeah, D. I can't justify giving him anything else. Conan D. Rock Lee will give him an A or A plus. A plus near Hinata again as usual.
Yeah.
So Sarida, on the other hand, deserves top end A plus, the original Sarida, I think, because of DRR and the attack and DRR up. What do you think? I think that's a good place. A plus for her.
For who?
For regular Sarida, OG Sarida.
Honestly, I would use her before Mama Sakura.
Yeah, A and S. I think so too. Yeah, okay,
it's because
you're right.
Because you use them as a damage check and
That's
you just use them for the DRR down. That's why.
Exactly. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Okay, here's in we're gonna put as D. Yamato. I mean, sure, he can sit with the rest of the tanks at B. Realistically, you're never gonna use him. But you know what? I'm gonna put him C. These tanks actually should probably all sit in C. To be quite honest, he'll sit up there because he does buffs, but that's how that should look.
Pretty much everybody else on this list
is useless.
Well, Kabuto.
Kabuto's good.
1010's good too because of her buffs.
I agree. 1010's good as well. So I was gonna say that she's the only other one. So Kabuto, I'd probably put not as high as Haku because Haku's an A, but I would put him in S for sure because if there is a D unit, he does bring a ton of damage down or damage rate reduction down and defense down for them. Yep. So are you okay with low S?
Yeah, low S. High A plus is good. Yep. People would still use him in like a D, FG.
Yep, agreed. 1010, I think A plus, probably last in A plus because of her buffs, like you mentioned, and the fact that she's an AoE stun, and she has guard rate suppression, which is good. So tanky units will guard less. And then people like Choji will give a B because he has tribes gauge up. Ino will continue to sit in her D pile. Jugo will be we'll give him a C for the sake of giving him C. Konohamaru will be a D. Mitsuki, he has heavy wound. I mean, I've never seen a heavy wound required, but he has a stun. So I mean, and he has defense down, right?
Yeah, but you just use Kabuto.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, for new players, right? So I'll give him C. Like it doesn't matter. Again, you're never going to use him. We'll give him B here for Zabaza if you haven't built, and we'll give.
Honestly, Zabaza would be like A plus because
you think so?
You could time his jutsu unforced to give DIR.
Fair enough. Where do you think an A plus?
Because his jutsu gives
no, but
DIR.
like where an A plus though? Like you put him last?
I would put him before Hinata and Rock Lee because
Like
I
this?
would personally use him for the buff because you have
Okay.
so much other nukers.
Fair enough. All right, guys. So you can see FG was a lot faster because it's very limited in terms of.
Forgot Temari, bro. I know you hate her, but
Oh my god, I forgot Tamari. That was honestly an accident. I didn't mean that at all. Oh shit, Tamari. Okay, Tamari. Okay, so
should be an
personally, Tamari should actually be, I think, an A plus or an S because of the buffs that she brings.
Yeah.
Oh, and she brings heavy wound, but I think at least an A plus for her.
Yeah.
A plus. Okay. Sorry guys, I'll add Tamari into the list. So A plus for Tamari for the tier list for sure. Okay, so let's go back, guys. If you take a look at the tier list, is there anybody here that looks at this and says this is off? Now, keep in mind, Blue and I are one of the only two that have ever finished most of the FGs. Blue has finished, I think, all of them. I think I've only missed one or two. So this is what we use personally. So if there's other people right now, because a lot more people are finishing FG, are you using a character that you can see higher that we're just mistaking?
Yo, Marvin Steve says SM Jiraiya is low, should be higher S. Well, this is for FG, bro.
Yeah, this is for FG. Yeah, this is for FG. So FG, you'll never use SS Jiraiya in FG. At least you should not be using him in FG.
Joel says Hedon A plus LOL.
Well, Joel, have you ever used Hedon in an FG? Come on.
I mean, you'd rather use other A's to kill A's, right?
Yeah, you could switch Itachi up for sure.
Hedon S, bro. Nice.
Okay, all right. I'll put Hedon. I'm okay with Hedon being S because he is a nuke. Are you okay with that? I'm okay with that, personally. I don't mind.
I mean, if that's the only thing you got left.
Yeah, I mean, if that's all you have, he's a good nuke. But then, honestly, like, why would you just not use Naruto Kage? He hits way harder than Hedon does.
I mean, yeah, you could use Hedon if you don't have Hebi, Kakashi, CM2, Boruto. You know, all of those characters. You'd only really use him in an A FG, but did you use him in the CM2 FG? I don't think so.
Yeah, so let's put it this way, Joel. If you're the only one with the Hedon that's that buffed up, and you use them, and you actually beat an FG with him, I'm shocked. But I mean, if that's listen, he is a nuking. He's a nuking D unit, and so is Naruto Kage. So your justification for him being that high up would also justify Naruto Kage being an S then, which I don't think makes sense because I've never used either of them to finish an FG. But hey, doesn't mean it can't happen. So Blue, I'm gonna put Naruto back to where he is because I have one of the highest ones in the game. I don't think he deserves to be an S. Hedon, is there any justification for him to be S?
I mean, it's just the fact that, you'd only use A units against A FGs.
And I wouldn't even use a D unit to fight an A.
Exactly.
No, you know what? It's going back. He's going back to A+. He could sit an A+.
I mean, yeah, if you drop all your fate scrolls and stuff in him, then I could see why you'd think
he's not S, Toes. Yeah,
but if we're just basing him on everybody just clean.
Okay, so anybody else?
I mean, 700k is not that much compared to 1 million.
Really not. Like regular Naruto UR does like 900 himself. B does 800 himself.
I mean, Kiba does 700k.
Yeah, Kiba's and R does 700k. Yeah, Joel, yours you can't use yours as an example. Yours is way too jacked up. Plus, we're comparing 5-star URs, not 7-star or 6-star URs. Okay. Anybody else, guys? No, So, guys, we're not covering PvP. PvP's already done. It's on Reddit, so feel free to read it, guys. The Reddit one's already complete for PvP, so we're strictly just doing PvE because we didn't have it updated. So, Matthew, feel free to jump on to the Reddit, and you can see the PvP list there. The only 2 characters I believe they're missing is Kamui and what's his nuts? Berserk Naruto. And Kamui is 100% SS for PvP. I'm not even going to argue that one. And Berserk can be A+. He's just a typical nuke. There's really nothing to him. He doesn't bring too much to the table. NWT tier list, also guys, on the website as well too. Again, missing Kamui and missing Naruto. Both of them probably S to A+, or maybe A even for Naruto, but that's it. Lambda, is Itachi viable? Yes, he is. Would I switch out Itachi for SR Baruto and SR Naruto? Only for Baruto. Baruto is 100% a requirement for FG. You should always have him on your team. So definitely switch him out for Baruto if that's the other option you have. All right, guys. Anybody else before we call it one? If not, thank you guys for joining. I apologize for the original mess up there that happened, for the technical difficulties and the limbo that we were in. But we're back on track. I'm going to save this. We're going to send this off to Binato. He's going to update the tier list on Reddit. Feel free to jump on there, guys, if you need to see this. I hope this helped out. If you have any further questions, what stops Kakazu from being SS? If you look at his damage percentage, he's two things. Number one, he requires the opponent to be 50% HP and up. By the time you hit the opponent on the second turn, no one's at 50% up except for the first guy. So it's pretty irrelevant for his damage. And secondly, he only is selfish. He doesn't buff anybody else but himself. So everybody else on this list buffs everybody and has an attack for the whole team or their cell, not just themselves. So that's why he sits where he sits. He definitely doesn't deserve SS. The new characters, on the other hand, who have the AoEs, have plus 140% damage. He only has plus 40% damage. So they're going to be doing way more. So there's going to be a new standard for AoE characters shortly, guys. So keep that in mind. So Zareth, I hope that helps. Yeah. It's just because he's selfish, honestly. He's a great character, I'm not going to lie. Like, keep in mind, guys, like the S list that you see here are very, very viable characters. It's just the SS ones will most likely clear the content, while S will get you an insanely high percentage with a chance. A+ will help you get a high percentage. A and below, you're probably going to get 30% or less with the mixture of characters that are here. So look at it that way. But the SS, you will finish this if you have high characters with these guys here.
Honestly, the SS list is literally a team.
That is literally, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's literally a team. He's absolutely right. That is the exact 9 you want to use to finish. I mean, you can sub some people in here. Like Kamui can be replaced with Payne. Jiraiya can probably replace somebody depending on if it's a D unit or not, right? So keep that in mind. It all also depends on who you're fighting. If they're all A units and T units, your top team here, the SS team, will clear that content like a joke. Kakashi, SR, or Hebi UR, Kirin, and Sai and Baruto are pretty much the essentials. Datara as well too, to some extent, he's also an essential. But there's wiggle room for 3 characters you can swap out depending on what it is. So Shikamaru will be really good. Like Sarida T will be really good in some situations. Itachi will be really good. So will Payne. So it all depends on if it's a D unit versus an A unit you're fighting. So of course the type is going to matter. But at the end of the day, the top 9 here are the top ones that Blue and I have used to always finish content. Essentially, it's 100%. And I know people like Joel who have done it as well too can do it. Yeah, and so Gika, the new data is absolutely selfish.
I mean, all nukes are selfish.
Yeah, exactly. All nukes are essentially selfish. The only one that's not is really Haku. Oh, sorry, AJ. AJ, shut up. You should be joining this and talking. I don't know why you're not talking. You're on the freaking channel. So here's the thing, Toes. I agree with you. Whales, yes, but more F2P are now starting to finish FG because of the advice that whales are giving. Like, you have to understand, like, a lot of the whales that play this game, we play to help educate people, right? So, like, if it wasn't for our testing, a lot of these units will never be used. Like, Kigo would have never been used. Shikamaru would have never been used. Like, a lot of these people that normally most people overlook, like Sai is another example, nobody would ever use if we weren't whaling and helping the community out. So it does require it. But I'm happy to see that Bandai has lowered the difficulty level, and now F2Ps are finishing it, so it's fantastic. So kudos to you guys for doing it. AJ, shut up. You're like on the same ocean level as I am. Actually, at level 91, you're worse than I am. Yeah, so exactly. We have Sasuri and all these guys. All right, Perfect. All right, guys. Well, thank you again for joining. This has been a fantastic experience. We're going to hopefully do this again with other tier lists that come out. If you guys enjoy this, shoot your likes, give us some comments, obviously, on the channel. And I'll be shooting this off over to the tribe team to show them how successful it was. And we'll continue doing stuff like this again. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here, guys. And we love you. We love this community. This game's getting better. I also want to say, though, we are going to be covering Alliance Team Battle next time. We just don't know the time frame of when they come out and when they're available. So until we know more about Alliance Team Battle, we will make a tier list at that point for that when it does get released. So we do know how Bandai is thinking. But until then, we're leaving it out. All right, everybody. Have a great night, and we'll talk soon.